Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mitch's Minute, the show with the hostess with the most. I don't fucking know. I think I tried that another time. I can't do it. I can't sit here and lie to you. Show that gets 31 views on average.
Oh my god.
Award-winning podcast. Mitch's Minute. Today I'm joined with our regular Ren and regular Amanda. Both you guys have been popping these last couple weeks for the show.
Hello.
And this is, I can't believe this. We're finally here. We're at the end of the hiatus. I had so much more planned. I was like, I'm gonna make a channel trailer, and I'm gonna do an announcement video when we're ready to pop. No, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow we come back, and our first video comes out at 1 o'clock, and then the second one comes out at 4. So the problem is we couldn't do, I couldn't come up with an announcement video to do it, and it mainly was just because, while 3 months have been really great for, giving myself time to do shit, it also horribly hindered my ability to produce videos, because I can't really I don't know. I had this whole idea for a channel trailer and stuff, and it just fell apart real quick.
We can always make a channel trailer. Just
There is no deadline to channel trailer creation.
I know, I'm aware. It's just, I think there were so many things I wanted for launch, and then eventually I just had to be like, alright, so this is what's going to happen. We're going to do something called Season 1. It was a classic Velvet Room thing. We're going to do something called Season 1. In other words, for the next few months, we're just going to be in Season 1, and what that means is we're going to be working all the kinks out, we're going to be working all the stuff we need to get done. So, for example, over the last few months, we had equipment issues. And during those equipment issues and stuff like that, some videos might be a little, might be a little scattery. Some of the audio might not sound great. As I look at Amanda and I, and had the horrible realization only it was
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's fun. But essentially, what it boils down to is starting this week, we come back. There's gonna be video uploads. There's gonna be some fun stuff. This week, you get 11 videos. Or you get 13. You get 13 videos. But
that's right.
Yeah, at some point though, we're gonna start streaming again. We're gonna start streaming Persona 3 and finish that up. I think that's gonna be on Tuesdays, and on stream days we don't have any videos. So the idea is that you guys would get Monday and then Wednesday through Saturday 2 videos, and then Sundays 1 video. Because I have Mitch's Minute. That's right, motherfuckers. This counts as its own thing. I don't have to work. Because
I mean, it does. To be fair,
I like the idea. There's gonna be there's gonna be a week where there's gonna be a finale or something, and it's oh man, I can't wait for it to come out later today. Nope, bitch. Mitch's Minute.
Joke's on you, Mitch's Minute.
That's right. So we've been working really hard on everything. We were able to reach our goal of 100 recorded videos. We have.
That's a good buffer there.
Oh my god!
I'm so tired.
we did it. It took us so long. What happened was today we recorded the last 3 videos of a series, and I looked at the numbers. I counted them all up. I remembered what Nate told me, and I was like, "Fuck, we made it." 100 videos. That means when I die, you'll still have 100 videos.
I love how you're like, when I die tomorrow. There will be 100 videos left.
Yeah, sitting here in the golden treasure room. No, so that being said, those save points coming out. And for all those at home who didn't get this video because, hey, guess what? Our old Discord's destroyed. I tore it down so that we'd have room for a new Discord. And that's going to be in the description in the videos below of every new video. You can find it. You can find the links there. I'm going to start putting the link starting next week on Mitch's Minute. And then you guys can come join us there. I have 3 really great people working on the Triforce is going to be working on that for me. as a lot of you guys know, my online presence is not my strongest point. Which is not great for a YouTuber.
I mean, not everybody can be on the internet 24/7.
No, I am. That's the problem. I'm sitting there playing FF14.
That's all I am. It's just like I like to hide though.
Hey man, well that's the thing. Like I've been playing a shit ton of FF this last couple days. The new expansion came out, and silly bitch me, I didn't complete the last expansion, so I'm catching up, trying to get there. I'm a gunbreaker now, which means I wield a gun blade and I look cool. And 3 people have already hit on my character because I look older, and Amanda says it's because they want a daddy, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they want a sugar daddy specifically because your entire outfit costs $3 million.
Holy shit!
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted that outfit forever, and I am a gatherer, and I sell on the markets just for arbitrary money, just so that I can have stuff if I want it. I picked up gathering while I was waiting for Amanda and Nate and Tabby to get to my level, to get on my level, and I just happened to have 3 million lying around, and was like, fuck it, if I'm gonna tank, I'm gonna pick the one outfit I've always wanted for tanking. I'm gonna pick the coolest looking outfit I can think of, which is the High Algian coat of arm.
I love how you phrased it.
Well, damn.
I
guess
just
if
had
I ever
3
join this
million
game,
lying
I'm
around.
definitely going to become a gatherer first to build up a stockpile to fund all other endeavors.
But Ren, you're forgetting, if you join the game, why wouldn't you just play with us? I can just
I would, but I would
just
also
give
do
you
that.
cash. I have literally no purpose for money right now. Here you go. Here's 200,000. Fuck it. It would be.
So they're not entirely misguided in assuming that you could be the sugar daddy of the game.
I've given enough time, maybe. I don't. I like making money because I want to be able to get something and glamour it over and be okay. Like I want to be able to get the right stuff and all that shit. I never want to be because that's the thing. Now I'm a tank, so I used to be a DPS main, and now I'm playing tank, and I just so happen what I'll do in order to kind of to maximize my profits is I'll only go into the duty roulette when it's oh, we need tanks. I'm like, bitch, I'm there, and I'll get some extra cash. And I'll spend time just gathering basic bitch minerals and materials and stuff like that people need for crafting. I tried crafting. It's not for me. I can't do it.
Is it one of those stupidly complicated crafting systems?
Oh yeah. It's stressful.
I wouldn't say that it's overtly complicated. What I would say is that to me, gathering is really relaxing. I can go from point A to point B and just keep going in a big triangle of 3 points and gather materials and then sell it on the marketplace for people who need it so that they can level their crafting stuff.
Yeah, actual crafters.
And then I can just get my money from it. Right now I have you can have retainers do ventures for you, and I'm having them collect water shards. I'm probably going to do some shard collecting here after we do this. Just because you could sell them for a stupid amount of money because everyone needs shards, because shards are the currency that is used so that to kind of limit what people can craft. So if you want to craft something 100 times, you have to pay 3 wind shards and 3 ice shards, and the idea is that
for 100 times
to keep people from spamming crafting systems.
Exactly, so that the system isn't flooded with a shit ton of items and nowhere to put them. So it was a way to mitigate the cost of everything, and also so that people couldn't just grind just make the same thing over and over again and level up.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that, but I did that. I would gather a bunch of materials, make 100 of them, and level up 3 times.
That seems like a fairly common sense way to level up. You speed through all the stuff that you're not super interested in, and then you get to the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was the plan. The plan was I was going to become a gatherer and pick up a bunch of stuff and then use all that stuff to craft. The problem became I just do not have a passion for crafting like I do for gathering. Gathering is relaxing, it's chill, I can come home from work and just do that. Crafting requires, like, I don't know, I say this all and then I'll probably come back in like a few months and be like, oh yeah, I crafted some, like, basic bitch thing I wanted because I wanted to make my character look cool. Some dumb shit like that. Like, I don't know. I always end up, like, doing things I never expect. I never would have thought when I started FF14 that I was going to be mainstaying a tank class. And now I am. I never thought when I started FF14 I would be a gatherer. Now I'm Grand Master of the Land. So, like...
Nice.
So, like, it's just, 14 is just fun, and, like, it's just, it's a good time. And like I said, Ren, if you ever want to join us, I sent out the, what server we're on and everything like that. I mean, me, Nate, Amanda, Tabby, we all play. And we slowly but surely, we will convince Sora one day.
Yeah, to get back into it. Yeah.
God,
One
he
day
used to
you
be a
will
Dark
slowly
Knight.
drag him into it.
He used to be a level 50 Dark Knight. And, like, it was good times. And, like, if we can get enough people, I would do an FF14 video where it's just like, hey guys, we're just gonna fucking film ourselves doing dumb shenanigans, and why not? I mean, why the fuck not? That being said, there is a point to today's video. We actually have a topic.
There is.
Yeah.
We should probably arrive at it.
Alright, so last week we talked about what we kind of thought went wrong with anime in the last 5 years. 5 or 6 years. But to be fair, as we also mentioned in that video, there's also some pretty good stuff. So we're going to go and talk about, hey, what's all the good stuff that happened here in anime in the last 6 years? Like, what is some of the things that really popped? What were some of the things that really were noticeable? The one I used for a immediate example was Death Parade.
Which I concurred. It was a good show. It was very short, but also sometimes short is good because it doesn't give the author an excuse to just sort of like continuously go off into more and more bizarre ideas.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's the thing. Death Parade presented a lot of interesting ideas, some of which I feel at the time didn't really give a full conclusion to, but that was the point. Like, some of it, like, I feel like thematically speaking, it was able to get my attention. It was able to just really, like, every episode essentially has a situation in which the characters are thrown into. The idea is that, for those of you at home who haven't watched Death Parade, two people will arrive in this little room and be told that they are dead. And the idea is that they will play a game to see, to kind of see what kind of people they were, like, and to judge them accordingly, so that they will go to either heaven or hell.
I thought it was to be reincarnated or to be sort of destroyed.
I feel like that's the right answer. I feel like you're right.
I feel like one of them was an English dub, honestly.
No.
Entirely possible.
It was the reincarnation. You're right. And the idea is just that the whole game is a trick. It's a trick to see what you will what kind of personality traits do you have, and as they go through the game, they also show you bits and pieces of these characters' lives.
So you can, the way it's set up is that you can lose the game, but still get the good path, so long as you lost the game being a good person, kind of a thing.
Right. And your soul will either be reincarnated or thrown or discarded. And so, and that's a really interesting concept. It feels very much like Japanese not Twilight Zone. Maybe that's not it. I got
Twilight Zone's close, but not quite.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's something that was just really intriguing, and to only have it be 13 episodes was really fun. The fact that, it's self-contained as a story really works in its favor, because I can't see them doing Death Parade 2 and, have us attached to the characters as much as we were through that story.
Yeah, it's definitely something that leaves room where you can take the same concept and do it with new people and new personality types.
Yeah.
but you definitely would need to come into it with a distinct new cast. You couldn't. It wouldn't really work very well to just do. Oh, we're doing this again, but with a different color scheme now, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be the Danganronpa of fucking anime.
I
Besides the Danganronpa anime.
Well, and that's another thing. Danganronpa's anime, despite what some people will say, I also think was one of the better things to come out in the last 5 years, because I know a lot of people who got into Dangan through that, because some people just don't want to play visual novels on the PSP.
Which is fair. Visual novels can be very long and difficult to get through if it's not something you just casually enjoy already.
Or if you hate the main character.
Or that. Yeah.
Not saying that I hate Nagi. It's more like we've been playing something for a couple weeks now, and I cannot stand the main character, and it's so. I just
Mitch,
Yeah, they told me a little bit about this
Danganronpa,
one.
the anime, wasn't in the last 5 years.
Are you shitting me? Danganronpa came.
I mean, it had multiple anime seasons, like well, it had sort of like multiple anime series.
Yeah.
There was like one for each
I'm
game,
talking
and there was
about the
also one that
original
was-
one, and it came out in 2013. You're just a year off.
Oh,
yeah, the
son of
original
a
one
bitch!
have come out. The
Oh,
other ones wouldn't come out.
damn it. Well, I mean, I say, okay, did it come out before? It came out in 2013, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it doesn't technically count. Which is unfortunate.
You're like only just slightly off because it came out literally a couple of days at the beginning of July in 2013.
God damn it. Oh, alright, well, still though, it's still really good. If you guys haven't caught that one, go ahead and give that one a shot.
You're like, son of a bitch.
Oh, it's fine. Like, I don't know. Because that's the thing. Like, anime, I feel like. So, my goal today was to pull up a bunch of anime that kind of really worked. That really, really worked. And then kind of see if there's a common thread between them. Let's just talk about how the problem is the images aren't going to change because literally we set this all up in like 5 minutes. So,
Yep.
So that's what you guys get. You guys just get to keep seeing that boy.
That boy.
But let's talk about one of the biggest anime that came out in the recent years, which is My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So this anime is not for me. I've tried it. I got through 2 seasons of it. I think the character designs are interesting. I can't go through Naruto again.
I won't do it to myself.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know, and I know everyone says, as I turn on the light, I know everyone says that.
I was like, as you walk away from the mic, all right.
I know everyone's, yeah, well, that's the thing. If you like it, that's fine. I think a lot of the designs are awesome. I love Bakugo. I think he looks really cool. Deku looks really solid. I like his green bunny outfit.
I kind of wish they kept
changed.
some of the old stuff. They did lose some of it. I was just like, what was wrong with Bunny Boy? He looked good.
I liked that. That was unique. That was interesting. And that's the thing. Like a lot of the designs look really solid. It's just okay. So I got to season 2, and they're doing the sports festival, and for anyone who's ever watched Naruto, there's this amazing.
You're flashing back to the Chunin exams, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly. They're like, oh yeah, the sports festival where we're gonna get to fight to see which one goes to the best agency. Oh, it's the Chunin exam. It's just not as official, and I don't know. It feels. It just feels, and I know that like it probably changes up and becomes different, but there's a certain level
to start with, the main character doesn't actually get to the finals, which is new for like fighting for a lot of that genre. Yeah,
but I heard the fight that he got through was real good, though.
Oh yeah, he did get some pretty good fights out of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My thing with My Hero Academia is I love half of the cast. I want to punt the other half off a cliff.
Is the other half begin with grape and end with juice?
Yes.
I fucking hate that dude.
Oh,
you guys are talking about. Okay, so here's the deal. here's the deal. Is it his design or is it his personality?
It's his personality.
It's mostly the personality, though I will admit the design does not assist him. But it's 99% his personality. It is. I know he's meant to be comic relief, but I just want to strangle this little man every time.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because there's this amazing thing called, hey, if this character was hot, would you feel the same way?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely, because my fucking issue stems
where they
from
have the exact same personality with a traditionally attractive looking character. I still want to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, my issue stems from the fact that it's like the sexualization of 15-year-olds.
Yep, not good. Not good.
Sometimes I forget that they're that age.
Yes, because they are a bunch of teenagers.
14 to 15-year-olds, depending on the character, so I'm not, super hype about it.
That's very fair. I wonder if that kind of plays into... Because I always forget that. I have a tendency to forget that when we're watching anime. A good anime will never make you question the character's age.
Yeah, no. In theory, they would know how to write their characters and design their characters in such a way that they both look and behave their age. Which, Naruto at the start, all very obviously 12? They behaved like it. They looked like it. You didn't think you were looking at adults in season 1.
Yeah.
Which, for all the flaws of that show, you could tell these are children.
Wait, hang on a second. Amanda, you're a fan of Inuyasha, yeah?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, what about Hole in the Hand guy? Isn't he just
he was creepy.
Moroku?
Yeah.
I liked him when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I'm just god damn, you are just a sleazy bastard, aren't you?
Yeah. He wasn't great.
Because, on one hand, I get that he's oh, well, I could die at any minute, and I need someone to, be my heir to, kill Naraku just in case. And I was just okay, I guess, as a kid. But couldn't you find
somebody who was also, into it, or, ready to, go, oh, yeah, sure, let's totally do this? And not just, every random person you pass?
I don't know. Yeah. It'd be really hard to explain that situation to someone. Hey, an evil bamboo monster.
I mean, there's enough other weird shit going on in this universe. I feel like it wouldn't be the most outlandish thing that a given person would have happen in their day.
I mean, yes, if they're just bullshit, he could just be you see that rock over there? And unleash his hand, and it just gets sucked up into the black hole that's in his hand. And he could be okay, I didn't fucking lie, bitch.
No, let me grab to Narai in the chat, yeah, Jiraiya was creepy in Naruto too.
At least Jiraiya hit on adults.
Yeah, he did have that one thing going for him.
He never looked at the younger girls at all, as far as I'm aware.
Well, no, he always was you're way too fucking young, get the fuck out of here.
Which is good, because...
Which is good.
I would prefer that.
Level of creepy. That would have been an extra level of creepy.
I mean, if we have to have a pervert, I at least want him to be a pervert that likes it legal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Generally.
Because that's a whole nother thing, is it's... Certain characters can be like that. I mean, it's whatever. It's a
matter of execution, not concept.
Exactly. So...
And Mineta, not well executed. But, I mean, there is a lot of good stuff about it. I love Tsuyu, Froppy. She is delightful. I wish there was, more of her. And Uraraka's lovely. Lita is really, really fun. There's a lot of fun characters in it. And I love the insane conspiracy theories that the fandom come up with. Because some of them are plausible, some of them entirely not. But also there's this whole, Dabi is secretly Shoto's older brother theory.
I'd be into that.
I like Dabi.
I'd be into that.
That's the thing! Yeah, the designs are awesome!
Missing, presumed dead older brother.
Well, that's because he has,
fire powers.
Yeah, because he has a similar power to, Endeavor's, and Endeavor even, mentioned that he had that there was another son that they never bring up, and he has the same eyes.
Yep.
And I think at
So,
one
like-
point in the manga he mentions something about like that he specifically Shoto had like a brother that didn't work out.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
so everybody's like, "Oh,
like-
please," and I'm like, "I'm down."
I mean, it could be executed horrendously, but it's a solid theory, and I think that would make for some really interesting character stuff, and I think that would be a really interesting way to get people to, like, examine maybe, like, some of the morality within the system of the universe.
Okay.
I think it would be cool.
Okay, but that's the thing. Okay, like when it comes to My Hero Academia, when it comes to this, it feels like conceptually it's a very interesting world. The idea is that at one point or another, 80% of the fucking population receives
Just
superpowers.
get superpowers.
Yeah, and you have to deal with it. Because superpowers have always been about making an individual like special and unique. But it took that idea and flipped it over and said, okay, well, most people have powers. The ones who don't are unique and special. Like, and
yeah, though it did try to do, like, it sort of started out like it might be trying to do being quirkless, and then just sort of immediately abandoned that plot thread. And that was a bit of total whiplash getting into that show. I was like, oh, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, nope, I guess we're not.
I wanted the show where fucking Deku doesn't have powers, but yeah, kinda. Maybe not super.
Not
muscular.
the personality of Batman, obviously.
Yeah,
I wanted Deku to be Rock Lee. End of story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted a Rock Lee.
Train real hard, get super good, and because you're so smart, Deku, like you'll come up with gadgets and cool ways to get over these situations. Fighting against the fire dude, put down a shield or some shit like that. You know, like
quirks. Yeah, especially since they do kind of establish that not all quirks are going to be useful all the time. Like Razorhead, the second he's fighting somebody who doesn't have like a on and off type quirk, he's basically just fighting quirkless. He's basically just going, I got 2 fists and a whole lot of determination.
And a scarf.
And the weird physics-defying scarf, yes. I don't know how that works.
I want to say that
sure
that
pseudoscience.
fucking scarf gets better, but all I know is that he ends up training one of the kids from the B class to actually use it.
From Gen Ed. Shinso wasn't originally in the hero class because the exam was seriously biased against people who don't have like more physical based quirks.
Well,
could have been a thing to examine.
So okay, but that's the thing. Okay, so take a look. Let's not to use the show I've been fucking gushing about for like a week now, but let's take One Piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, One Piece has this thing where Luffy's ability is that he's a rubber boy, right? And at first it's all about, okay, I can stretch my... Yeah, I can fucking... I can Mr. Fantastic my way through shit. I can punch real hard. He still is muscular. He just stretches real strong and real powerful and shit. But you also have characters in that world who don't have Devil Fruit, who are also able to do really cool shit.
Yeah, because they find the tools they need to execute their concept. And it works, because they use their brains. They don't zero in on, oh, I don't have super awesome powers, I must be incapable of doing anything. It's like, no, bitch, I got a freaking gun.
Now, to be fair, they did do a thing where if you train hard enough, you can essentially, like, use this thing called hockey and do ridiculous shit. But you have to train...
I'm sorry, did you just say it's called hockey?
H-A-K-I.
I figured, but it sounded to me like hockey the sport.
They train on hockey! So they like get this ability where it's like, okay, like if you train really, really super hard for a very long time, you'll develop these powers so that you can fight on even terms with the Devil Fruit users. And so like...
Which is a pretty cool concept, because you still have to put the work in and the dedication to do it.
Right, so like you have characters like Zoro, who uses a 3-sword style, and he's able to fight these people with quirks, essentially. And
while somehow not getting the sword slapped out of his mouth.
Well, that's because of Colgate. But that's not important.
I was gonna actually say like that denture glue, but alright, man.
And then you have Sanji as a guy who only like kicks people, but he kicks people so fucking intensely. Every day's leg day for Sanji.
Yeah. There is no arm day. There is only leg day.
And
his arms are for
maybe a bit of
cooking
core.
and loving. He
And, like-
can't be using them for fighting.
That's right. In fact, the only time it's actually revealed that he could be really solid with using knives and stuff, like as a fighter, because one time he fought like a dude whose power was involved like summoning noodles, and he's like, "I've got this," and just picks up 2 knives and starts fighting the guy, and it's like, "Oh my god, Sanji, you're really powerful with these knives." Well, now time to never do that thing again because I will only use these knives for cooking. It's like, what?
Yeah, and the only reason he broke it for this fight is because he was fighting noodles.
He was fighting a noodle man. It was like, what the fuck, dude?
No, that is a good character trait in a Bizarro show like One Piece.
Yeah.
It is good execution of a wacky character concept.
So in the chat, someone asked, Mitch, do you love One Punch Man?
Okay, here. I want to like One Punch Man. I know a lot of people who do. I think I have to give it another watch. I think something about Saitama irritated me the first time I watched it. And I think it was just this it was a combination of One Punch Man's oversaturation, because people were like arguing about this idea of like, oh well, Saitama could beat Superman and Goku and shit. It's like, yeah, that's the point of his fucking character. That's like, no one ever thinks about this, but Ichigo Kurosaki could be Superman because he's a ghost.
Yeah, like Superman can't see him. He could like, and he could ignore the whole like, oh, he has like unharmable skin. Well, that's irrelevant when you're dealing with.
When you're fighting someone's
skin, he's cutting their soul, and that's not bulletproof.
Yeah.
The soul is not bulletproof. The
I don't know.
skin is.
I
I
want to watch Superman just get stabbed by Ichigo Kurosaki, and he's just like,
Well, like,
what?
that's the thing.
And he's just like, what happened? What is this?
That's the
What
thing,
is
because
happening?
Ichigo, in his Soul Reaper fucking form, is invisible to fucking living people.
Yup.
One day,
Superman wouldn't even see him coming.
Like the
Superman
same
just-
for like the whole like the big 3 fights, like when like, oh, my protagonist could beat up yours. Nobody can see this one, and he's faster than anybody else. Like,
That's
you
like-
can't see him, you can't outrun him.
Well, that
He
was
can
like.
stab you.
Well, that was like back in the day. People would make like, "Oh man, who's faster? Fucking Minato from Naruto, or not Kuritsugu, fucking Kirito from Sword Art." And I'm like, guys, Kirito would lose every race. He's a normal dude playing a video game. Like,
Yeah. He's just a normal dude that happens to be good at video games. Why are you acting like he's gonna be the actual superpowered combatant?
Oh my god. The point. We kind of sidetracked there, but like,
Yes, we did.
The point is that like when it comes to One Punch Man, I should give it another watch. Honestly, I think at the time it was just a lot of oversaturation of just.
I mean, I never got into it because all I knew about it, the concept and the really bad and creepy way the guy draws black people, and that there's a weird stereotypical creepy gay dude in it.
What?
That is all I know about the show.
What? Like, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, me either. I haven't watched One Punch Man.
Yeah, like, you know, the whole like the way like really racist Americans used to draw black people.
Yeah.
That's how the author of this draws black people.
Okay, so let's step away from that, shall we? Let's not talk about One
Yeah.
Punch Man.
Let's run away from that.
Especially because none of us watched it, so like, there's no point in talking about it.
We don't really have much to talk about other than like hearsay we heard from other people and clips we saw on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It looks really well animated, but beyond that, I couldn't really tell you. I will say that for what it is worth conceptually, it is a very interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea that
Good
characters.
concept. Execution? Question mark.
Well, yeah, because like the idea that Superman is just bored because he doesn't feel like there is any adventure in his life because he beats everyone up in one punch. That's a cool concept on paper, but like, well, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to watch it, and that's another thing. It's like I don't know. I'm too busy watching this season's brand new Fire Force, but I actually do have an image for it.
Oh shit, a new fucking image.
That's right. I had the honor of fucking catching Fire Force the day it came out.
Yeah, it was so good.
And so for those of you who are at home who don't know, Fire Force is an anime made by the same dude who did Soul Eater. So if you like Soul Eater,
yeah, Soul Eater was a good one.
You'll like this. It's very like the first episode is very solid. I like the gimmick of the main character. I don't want to give out too much away just because this one is fresh, like literally fresh out the oven, and it's ongoing.
It literally came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it came out like on Friday, so like I don't want to talk about like anything too much. I will say as we go along though, I am hoping so hard that this is the anime of the season for a lot of people. I hope that this is the one that we get another season of. And I told Amanda, I'm like, I'm hoping that we get a chance to play the Fire Force game by Bandai Namco or some shit like that. Like, I want that because
that's going to exist.
Well, that's the thing. So Soul Eater had like 1 or 2 games that came out. One was for the PSP, and I gave that one a shot on the channel a long time ago. It's not good, but that's the thing. Anime games have come a long way since the PSP, since like 2009, 2011, and I would absolutely adore a game in this anime style where where the whole premise is that it's these firefighters fighting against fire demons, and the world is so well built. I adore how different this one is. And I know that there's a lot of like...
the art style looks really distinct from a lot of the stuff that I've seen come out in the past couple of years.
Well,
or at least some of the stills did.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's on Crunchyroll right now. I think it might be on Funimation. I don't really know. But, like, go check this out. This one is honestly, like... I have not been this passionate about a shonen show in a very long time. Like, and the fact that I'm sitting here being like, hey... go watch this. I think this could be the anime of the season. And now watch me eat my words like months down the road. And it's like, oh, we didn't talk about the horrible fucking problems. But at this moment in time, I am excited. I cannot wait for next Friday to watch another episode and to just kind of lose myself, because the thing that I like the most is he took, without spoiling, he took some concepts and some ideas that were popular from the time that Soul Eater was out and kind of flipped them over.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting to watch because there's a very specific detail about the main character that I adore, and then it changes how you look at promotional art for the show, and
which detail is this?
I cannot tell you because
it actually is a spoiler, believe it or not.
I cannot believe I have to say it like that. It is a spoiler, but it is such an endearing character trait, and it is so. It's not. I wouldn't say it's 100% unique to that character, but I would say the way that they play it up is so interesting to me. It is. I'm like, I want to see.
It's an interesting concept for what he does.
JHKGYG098 says, now tell me, is it going to be just as good as Soul Eater? Are the shipping wars going to be tasty? I
mean, it's only been 1 episode so far. You can't really necessarily say one way or another.
I will say this much right now. The animation studio that's doing this is David Productions. They are known for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I will say this much.
Interesting series.
I for everyone at home who knows, I adore JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I can honestly say that this is the way that this is animated. Even watching that first episode, there's some real solid animation sequences, and
they're gorgeous. Some of the fucking scenes are absolutely gorgeous.
And that's when anime studios get the animation right, they'll get it just chef's kiss. Some of them it's just kind of meh, but when it's good, it's oh so pretty.
And I mean, I can fucking sit here and just be like, oh man, all these characters are fucking spitfire. Like, all these characters are fucking, like, great. All the characters so far that we've met are great, except for one. But it's only because he reminds me of Josh. And it's the only reason. It's a weird personal reason. It's a weird...
Yeah, that's a very personal reason.
It's a weird personal reason. Anytime I see a character with a serious demeanor and glasses, I'm like, oh, fucking Josh.
It doesn't help that he has a similar haircut. So he's just fucked on all fucking levels for you fucking mentally because you're like, that's Josh.
That's just Josh to you now.
I love this whole cast of characters and Josh.
I love this whole cast of characters. I love all of them. That one, and Josh.
Look at this photo of all the Fire Force cast. It's everyone I love and Josh. Fucking, like, the point is that
we keep saying his name, and that's literally how we summon him.
Every time, without fail, we summon Josh this way.
He's gonna make his way into this private call somehow.
Somehow he will do it.
So like that's the thing. So what I would like to do, if it obviously, you guys are the people who keep coming back every week, because every week I want to come back and talk and be like, okay, no matter what the topic is, like I'll start it off at the top of the show and be like, all right, this week on Fire Force, still solid, still good. Like, you know.
I mean, sure, it could be.
I'm waiting for the 1 week where you're like, this week on Fire Force, that's so good.
And is it not so good because, oh boy, we've jumped into bad territory, or not so good because the show had such good writing that it made you cry?
This week on Fire Force, they took some weird stabs at Polynesians, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
Everyone else does.
This week on Fire Force, they promoted stuff I am uncomfortable with. More at 11, I guess.
Yeah, so... No, but that's the thing. I genuinely think that Fire Force is going to be the really solid one. Another one I have to watch before we do the next Mitch's Minute is Dr. Stone, which is being talked about everywhere. A lot of people are saying Dr. Stone is also going to be one of the big anime of the season. And it from what I could tell from the promotional stuff, it doesn't look like normally something I would be into. But I think it's also because I've been hyped for Fire Force for like months now. And like if you go back in Mitch's Minutes, you could actually go and see in one of the episodes. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait till this pops. So there's that. But like I heard Dr. Stone's gonna be real solid. Like we'll come back every week and we'll talk about maybe one or two different things that happen. But beyond that, I would say that like in terms of like some of the big anime that came out, throughout the last couple of years, we didn't talk about a lot of them. We kind of just stumbled on a few of them. But, like, the thing that I do need to emphasize is there are, like, a lot of anime that came out. And admittedly, I think one of the reasons why my list is kind of short comparative to, like, last week where we were talking about the problems with Isekoi series and we talked about, like, Log Horizon and all this shit is because, admittedly, I haven't been into it in a while. I don't know what popped last season besides JoJo, and I didn't even watch JoJo last season, and I love JoJo. I'm just waiting for part 7, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Steel Ball Run. I love Steel Ball Run is the reason I got a PS4. Like Steel Ball Run.
Oh, that's interesting.
Eyes of Heaven came out, and I was like,
Eyes of Heaven.
And I needed that tag team Johnny Gyro gay bullshit. I love JoJo. It's my favorite JoJo ship. It's so good. Just Brokeback Mountaining your way across the United States. It's the most in search of Jesus. It's the most.
I'm so excited for when they fight the president.
Oh, God.
Do they actually fight the U.S. president?
They fight the U.S. president.
Holy shit!
His name is funny about
that he whips out a fucking American flag. I'm not even fucking kidding. It's beautiful.
He summons an American flag. It's so. Don't say it. Like we can't say anything else. It's so good because part 7 is essentially a reset, and it's also a really good place for like I had friends who didn't understand why I liked part 7 so much. They'd be like, all right, here you go, check it out yourself. I'm like, what do you mean? It's part 7. We can't just start here. And I'm like, actually,
You can.
You sort of can. It's not recommended, but you could. You could.
You totally could.
And maybe you Google a few things, but for the most part, it's good. Yeah.
Right. So like that's the thing. So like because part 7 takes place in a whole new world. No, it takes place in a whole new universe. With references to the last 6 parts. In fact, when Steel Ball Run originally came out, it wasn't called JoJo Part 7 Steel Ball Run. It was simply called Steel Ball Run, and it was actually advertised as its own thing. Mm-hmm. So
to try and get like people to enjoy it before they're like, oh, this is JoJo, but where's the JoJo?
Well, that's the thing. There was a couple references to JoJo, but beyond that, it wasn't technically an official part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's what I'm excited for.
I'm excited to see what they have to do with the names legally for all of the stands.
Or are they named after like legit people?
They're named after legit bands.
Oh my god.
Ew.
Did you not know that about JoJo?
I have not had a chance to watch JoJo yet. All I know about it is premise, and it goes very far to pursue the depths of its premise and just like go all in on everything, which I like it when series do that.
So here's what I would recommend. Ren, if you are interested at all in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and to all the viewers at home who are interested in JoJo, people will tell you different things. Some people will say you should only watch part 3. Some people will say you should only watch part 4. Some people will because that's the best part or whatever. Like everyone has their own biases and everyone has their own things. I would say if you really want to get if you're in the mood for a good adventure, part 3 might be like your ticket. Only because, and I'm not saying only watch part 3. I'm saying every part of JoJo
it might
feels
be
like
a good entry point.
Well, not particularly. It's just part 1 and part 2, as much as I love those parts, aged a little weirdly.
Yeah.
So, for example, my mom watches JoJo. And for her, how she got into it is she got really into 1888, or like 1886, 1880, whatever, 7, Phantom Blood, because it's kind of like this over dramatic Victorian era drama in London, and it has like horror elements, and it has like, it's essentially Castlevania. It's the inspiration for Castlevania. And
speaking of Castlevania, that has an anime that's pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Oh, we know.
It's very solid. Too bad we'll never finish it.
We need to finish it.
Not because we don't want to. Because we started with a group, and we have not been able to get all those people in the same room.
Oh
no!
So we're waiting on them, and we want to watch it, but we haven't had the chance.
So let me put it this way: as when I was a teen, I had heard about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the only thing I knew about it was Jotaro Kujo, and that was it. Because you'd see him every now and then on the convention floor. Around 2011, 2012, I started reading the manga because I was like, fuck it. I have nothing better to do. And in like
may as well see what this thing is.
And I read all of it in like 3 months. And I loved it. I thought it was unique. I thought it was different. I thought that like it was something very special. I also at the time and even now am a kind of a lame music fan. I love like 70s, 80s, like classic rock, that kind of stuff, and I love like just that like the fact
and
that
they reference it all the time.
Yeah, Hirohiko Araki is a huge fan of like that era of music. So like JoJo as a character, for example, was inspired. So some people say it was inspired by the song Get Back by the Beatles. Some people say that Jonathan's name was inspired by a restaurant he would regular. Either way, cool thing. And then you have the main villain, Dio Brando, named after Ronnie James Dio of Rainbow fame, and also Marlon Brando. You have his best bud in the world named after one of my personal favorite artists of all time, Robert Edward O. Speedwagon. Ario Speedwagon. You have one of my favorite moments of all time. It was
I feel like even if that wasn't a reference to something, just having a guy live in a seat wagon.
It's just, and then you have like, and this is all part one. So like then you have like, you have like some characters. I'll never forget the day I read. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I was reading JoJo, and I'm like, oh yes, Master Tom Petty. And then I kept scrolling down, and then I said, what? And I scrolled back up, and I was like, Master Tom Petty, and it was like, oh, Dire and Straits, fucking like, there's so much. JoJo Part 1, as much as people diss on it and as much as people shit on that, it feels so much like you're reading the story from like an 80s metal cover, like Bad Out of Hell kind of like bullshit, like obviously going to Dio. Like you're reading a story from one of those metal albums, and like it's cartoonishly gory, but at the time you have to remember that there wasn't a lot of stuff like that. And so like, if you keep going with that story, you eventually go from being a medieval horror adventure to going into the 1920s, 1930s, and having his grandson, Joseph Joestar, also hunting down quote-unquote vampires, and like hunting down like mysterious people, and you have like an adventure in itself. It feels like Indiana Jones, like it's a period kind of like adventure. And then you go to part 3, and it takes place in the 80s, so the characters are dressed interestingly, and like it's
because it's 80s Japan.
I saw is the character design. It is like, the art style has good and bad things about it, but the have consistently unique, but also like not just unique for being unique. They're still solid character designs from what I've seen.
Well, that's the thing. So like, JoJo is Hirohiko Araki as an artist. Like, you should like, and I know people would say don't read the manga, but I would say that there's this a real appreciation you get by reading the whole thing, because you see 30 years of art development. You see a guy who draws the proportions way too off. Like, it's ridiculous how small their heads are.
These fucking 13-year-olds are built like fucking trucks.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I'm 14 and I'm built like a burly UFC fighter. Like,
to be fair, he is not the only professional artist like that. Or
yeah, but like, it almost feels like he's the one who started it. It's so weird. So that's the thing though. So like, you have like, you watch this guy start that way, and now Hirohiko Araki is a mangaka who has been featured in the Louvre.
Yeah.
And that
is... Wait, what?
Yes. Yeah. Hirohiko Araki is considered one of the best artists in that field, because you watch how his art develops, and his art style is so unique and so different that like he created entire pieces. He's met Clint Eastwood, a hero of his.
Oh, fucking no joke. Gucci has commissioned this man to do art for them.
I believe it, because he definitely has a very good like concept, like getting like actual concepts down, and like no matter how bizarre they are, everything I've seen works. Even the ridiculous hat that melds into his hair.
Oh my god, that hat hair. and so like, and that's the thing.
It's like, it's a ridiculous concept, but it looks cool the way he's drawn it.
And that's the thing. So like, Hirohiko Araki is just like this guy who like, he is so different to the point where, and I know that like, this is, Josh hates it when I say it like this. When I started to fall out of anime, one of the reasons was because I started looking at everything inspired by JoJo, and I started to fall out of love with those things, because it was one thing to take inspiration, it was another thing to be like, well, no one could do it as good as JoJo did. I was so like enamored with like this different form of storytelling, because that's another thing entirely. Stands in JoJo are so unique and so crazy and interesting, because it's not just I have the power to shoot fire out of my hands. Well, I say that. I say that and I immediately am like, okay, it's like one of the first stands you see.
Yeah, But just because that's included doesn't mean that's it.
It's all okay. There is a stand, not to give away details about anything, but there is a stand that essentially, fucking when it. How do I word this? I'm trying to think of one that's not going to be like too crazy to give away. Oh, okay.
I mean, I already know about the one that stops time everywhere.
Okay, well that one's a meme, so it's
yeah.
that one's
that one's just Dio as a fucking person.
So okay, but there's stands in which like I can reverse time, but only 6 seconds, and only if I twist the little knob on my wristwatch, I can. Or like, I have a stand. I can shoot my fingernails at people.
Yeah.
Like magically. But like, and then like as that power develops and grows, it becomes insane. Like, and so like you have like stand abilities that are like I can heal, I can not just heal, I can break something and then return it back to its original state, slightly altered or modified. I
thought you were gonna talk about meat spray. Oh my god.
I mean, Insane
I can blow up.
Has brought up somebody called Doggy Style.
Oh no.
I can take a piece of metal and blow it up like a balloon. And fold it into a balloon animal, and have it explode shrapnel everywhere.
That is very specific. Is the balloon animal part essential to the power, or is that just a thing this?
I feel like he was a dick. That's not
Oh yeah. And then there are like abilities like some stand users have where it's just like I can erase things out of space and time just by swiping my hand in front of it. I can even erase space. So he can drag people closer to him by erasing the spaces in between. He has like such crazy.
That feels to me like when you're like you're doing the whole, if I put my hands like this.
Yeah.
Like when you like just pinch your fingers around a tree and you're like, boop, oh, nothing happened.
Yeah, that's literally what this stand is. And he's so fucking broken. They never used my sweet boy. He's such a good boy. Well, I love him.
There's also another one of my favorite stands, which is just I have the power to summon a small tiny army.
Oh, that's right.
I mean if that works for you, that works for you.
I have a stand, and it is that's the thing. Like there's some stands that are just like I'm a swordsman. It's like, oh, okay, you're a swordsman. All right, that's cool. And then there's I am an assassin that only exists in the mirror world. It's like what?
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing that makes me want to watch the show, because it does not back down from its bizarre concepts. It's like, yep, we're doing this, and it's staring you right in the eye as it does everything and just keeps escalating. Like this is the concept, and I'm going to the end of the line with it.
But they have like and yeah, you can see Insane Oddball fucking talking about it. There's fucking literal stands like Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters. There's even like Vanilla Ice, and he doesn't just like.
He's weirdly powerful.
Vanilla Ice is like one of the strongest motherfuckers. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, to be fair, in the real world, Vanilla power, and it's just not necessarily one that you want to bring up very often.
Yeah, but there's straight up fucking like stands, because he doesn't just stick to the 80s. Because in like the newest one that he has going on, fucking there's a stand user, and her stand's name is Born This Way.
What's its power?
It's actually pretty fucking interesting, because she can essentially target people with it, and anytime they quote unquote open up anything, a fucking masked individual on a motorcycle with ice abilities, like strong enough to freeze your eyelids open, will fucking chase you down until you close the thing.
Until you close the thing.
And you don't even know that that's what the issue is. And by open something, it could literally be anything. I opened a pen by clicking it.
Or like you opened up to somebody by revealing a personal trauma.
As long as you're opening, you need to close it back to get it away from you.
Oh my
But
God.
even then, it'll wait until you open another thing. It's great.
So it's
I
just,
love Born This Way.
stands
Born
are
This Way is the
essentially
best.
puzzle powers. They're
It's super specific, and you have to figure out how you can fit it into any given situation.
It's so weird. Anyways, the point is, we got so off topic.
So off topic.
We got so off topic. That being said, Green Day is a stand, and I love it. Anyways, let's go.
Right?
And, let's kind of go back to the main topic at hand, which is anime in the last 5 years. So I would say, like, let me end the fucking thought there that I had for 30 minutes. So I would say that if you want to get into JoJo, as much as people, like, there's people who'll tell you to only get into part 3, I would say start with part 1 and kind of just go from there. The reason why is because not only a lot of people say it's because you miss out on like OGDO. And while that is true, I would also argue that watching the development of each part and the escalation of how Araki kind of wrote himself into, like, okay, so, like, that's the thing. Part 2 ends with literally fighting the most biologically powerful creature in the entire world. And then solving that one, by the way, is one of the most tell me your response later kind of things, where it's like, oh yeah, did you get to that part? Yeah. How did you like how that happened? And they're just like, I don't. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, like, the point is that it loses some of its importance to me if you skip and just get to Jotaro. The reason why is because it's not just Dio. One of the main protagonists from like part 2 becomes an ally and follows you on the adventure too. And a lot of to me, I feel like a lot of people dismiss the the importance of that character. Like, I think that while both Jotaro and him have a lot at stake, I feel like because this character has gone through a lifetime of these sort of troubles, that, like, the fact that, this impacted my father and my mother, and now it's impacting my daughter. Fuck. Like, I don't know. There's something about that hits harder to me in a way than Jotaro's story. And I know that's weird, but
it's got an emotional core to it. I can, like, even from that brief description, I can see how you get attached to that.
Like, he's a good character.
You can literally watch characters grow old in JoJo, and it's
I love it when authors let characters actually grow old. Like, you're not just stuck at 20 and then you're useless.
Well, that's the thing. So he's 60 by the like a little bit above 60 by the time you get to that part. And he's still kicking ass and taking names, and he's still doing cool shit. He's goofy and whatever, but the thing I like the most about that character is just that it almost feels like the final conflict it comes full circle. Where it's like, it started with this, it ends with this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's good storytelling when you're not just, like, you resolve your plot. Like, there is such a thing as, like, having consistency of themes that authors kind of want to have.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So, like, it's one of those things where I really love that character. And that's the problem. Is another thing is that JoJo wasn't supposed to go beyond 3 parts, but because of its popularity it did, and they did some things to that character later on that I don't necessarily agree with.
It hurt.
Because it doesn't feel like that was part of that character. It feels like that was shoehorned in.
Yeah.
To make an excuse for the show to keep going. And it bothers me a lot.
Be annoying. Yeah, sometimes, like, from what I've heard, like, it has what it's doing this and found its own footing on that, but sometimes, if you reached a logical narrative conclusion, it's good to end there. Like, I saw a lot of people complaining when The Good Place ended, but it ended because they'd accomplished their goal. They'd told their story. To carry it on would have eventually just diluted the thing they were trying to make and that everybody liked so much.
I'm sorry. Did you just say The Good Place is over?
I heard that it was, like, it reached its finale.
I didn't know that.
No.
Let me Google this just to make sure.
Its fourth and final season comes out September 26, 2019. I was about to say, Ren, you don't get to
it's concluding, not that it's already finished.
Okay,
oh my god!
I was like, oh
yes, sorry, it's concluding, not it's over. My bad.
Okay.
I misremembered a thing. Yes, sorry if I just gave you guys a couple like heart attacks there.
I'm like,
that's all good.
I was like, wait, what?
But yeah, that was a thing I saw people concerned about because like they're like, oh, but we want more. But like also sometimes short thing that is good is better than 20 seasons of nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of my big issue with JoJo is as much as I do like parts, because that's the thing, I don't not like a single part of JoJo. It all is great to me as a giant overarching storyline, as a giant overarching narrative. It's just, admittedly, as much as people like part 4, I do feel if you watch those first couple episodes with it in mind, knowing that the guy who wrote this wanted to end the show with part 3,
you can see where he may have not have been as invested.
Well, because that's the thing. Araki loves part 4 because that was his biggest challenge ever. Because he had to essentially continue a story he had no intention of continuing.
So it's basically
he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
And like, if you ask
what
him
am I doing now?
If you ask him who his favorite characters are, he'll say that it's essentially the main villain of part 4 and a kind of one-note side character he wrote for that same part. And that
do you mean
Honeybee.
that one guy?
Yeah. So that's the thing. So like it's one of those things where it's like, ironically, like the fact that he continued, and the fact I'm always happy that he fell in love with those characters for part 4, because the fact that he had to move on with a story he didn't 100% want to go forward with,
but still managed to find something he genuinely wanted to do with it.
Yeah, and I think that that's the most comforting thing I can always take from part 4. Like, some people say it's the best part. I say I don't know. I feel like reading it was a little different compared to the other parts. You could definitely tell that he's trying to get his art style down a little bit more. Part 4 begins looking a lot like part 3, and then it ends looking a lot like part 5, where like the characters become less Bara-men and more twinkish. And so like you have interesting like developments in that sense, but like it's I don't know. To me, it's always that thing where they just that one character did something. Like the character I was talking about with part 2, the one character does something that I don't 100% agree with, and for me it kind of ruined him a little. And that's kind of where I'm going to end that. And we went way above and beyond, and we ended up talking about 30 minutes of JoJo.
Oh my god, as usual.
Are you sad that you got to ramble on about JoJo?
No, I love JoJo. I absolutely. That's the thing.
Legitimately, no. JoJo's great.
JoJo is one of those really good series out there. I really don't want anyone to be put off by, admittedly, the kind of overzealous fandom that is like, oh, this is so random, ha ha ha, it's no context JoJo. It's that comes off really annoying, you dick. Stop doing that.
I mean, like, there is joy in some chaos, but also like there are things like there is an actual story underneath all, which is not necessarily to be forgotten unless you're just watching it for the flashy scenes and you've turned all the like audio off or something.
Well, and that's the thing. It's just it's good. And I would say this, anime in the last 5-6 years has really changed a lot. I would say that one of the things that I like about it is that the things that I think are exceptional are the ones that took the most chances. we were talking earlier, I know that we didn't talk about a lot of anime, and I know that's probably because I didn't admittedly watch a lot of anime during this time period. But it's because a lot of it felt like it was isekai. It felt like it was like...
A lot of it did get a little bit same-ish, with a lot of people trying to rip off the big popular ones, and you just had... There was definitely a lot of semi-clones getting produced.
But while I wasn't around for some of the big pops, or while I didn't necessarily enjoy some of the big pops, like My Hero Academia, One Punch Man, etc., I am happy they exist, because it's not about me. It's about the community, and it's about how those people take those things. Like, the fact that My Hero Academia is as big as it is really great, because it means that, in my opinion, that people will then become inspired by My Hero Academia and hopefully make something interesting. Or the fact that Death Parade, hit as many people as it did, I hope that we get more stories like that. And my future wish for...
Yeah, I certainly do hope they do get to do, speculative short stories. Not everything needs to be...
Yeah, and my future wish is that I hope that we get more things. Like, as you heard earlier, I am in love with Fire Force so far. It's so good. And I hope that, we can get to a point where, I feel that way about a lot of different series. I hope that as I get closer to 30, my fear of just dropping everything becomes mitigated, and I will end up enjoying more things. And I think a big part of that push, admittedly, is getting a little bit more into 14, getting a little bit more into that anime push, anime-esque push. And I don't know, I would say that I hope that companies make more stories where I can feel like I can watch this, I can enjoy this, and that's the one thing I will say about JoJo that I know we've talked about it for fucking forever. But the one thing I will say about JoJo is I never felt too old for that story, because it was so different, because you do have characters that are a range of ages. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for catching another episode of Mitch's Minute.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to know that when we come back, I will sound tired as shit next week, because Nate and I have to upload 11 videos every week.
Yeah, and so will I, because I have to do the fucking thumbnails.
YouTube's scheduling thing? Or no, you don't have the thumbnails yet, you wouldn't be able to schedule them.
No, so we have the episode scheduled. It's just, Amanda at this literally right now, she's finishing up the show that comes out tomorrow, and then we have 3 days of that. So actually, let me go ahead and pull out the schedule, because for those viewers at home,
YouTube, where you upload things in advance.
Yeah, no, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
So for those at home, this week, because you guys got the exclusive, because you guys stuck around this long. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
The big 3 shows that come out this week are Breath of the Wilds, Monster Prom, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, I know what you're thinking. All those sound like shows that already came out. Well, yes, indeed, they did. But we're actually going to finish Breath of the Wild. It's me, Amanda, and Nate. My mind fucking melted there for a second.
You're all good.
And then we have Monster Prom. Essentially all the shows have me, you, and Nate, and then KH3 has just Sora in it. And then starting
to make everything confusing with the double Soras.
I know. Oh my god, that's
so real.
So good. So anyways, we'll starting tomorrow, guys. We'll catch you guys, and make sure to check out the description down below for not of this video, but for tomorrow's videos, for a link to the new Discord, and we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on there. And we'll catch you all next week on the next Mitch's Minute. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to send us any of the anime stuff that you thought was interesting, please go ahead and send us an email at savepointcity@gmail.com. That's savepointcity@gmail.com, and we will read off your emails at the last fucking bit at the the last minute. Or not the last bit, at the very end of the show, which we actually did get. We actually did get an email, believe it or not.
Oh.
Yeah. Here, let me go ahead and read that real quick. Last chance to redeem Core Set 2020 arrives on July 2nd. Get stoked and use your code below to redeem 3 randomized mythic rare cards from Magic the Gathering War of the Spark.
Oh god, Mitch, did you fucking use it for fucking Magic?
No, I didn't! That's the worst part! I don't know how I got that one!
Mitch, I don't believe you.
Alright guys, we'll catch you next week. Later!
Later.